Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg is out with a new college affordability plan. It provides all U.S. families with a total income of up to $100,000 with free public college tuition. And for families who earn up to $150,000, they will receive what he calls substantial tuition subsidies. David Klein is CEO and co-founder of CommonBond. He joins us now. You're in the student debt refinancing business. When you hear proposals like Pete Buttigieg's or Elizabeth Warren's or Bernie Sanders, what do you think? Having been in this business, which do you think is the best way to tackle it?
So there's really two types of proposals coming out of the Democratic field. One is what I like to call the free ride. The other is what I like to call the fair ride. Bernie Sanders has the only free ride proposal, actually, where he essentially is eliminating debt and making college free for everybody. The fair ride camp essentially says, free college for some, wipe out debt for some. And the only difference between the candidates is simply to what extent they go, where they calibrate to cost and coverage. And so Buttigieg coming out with this today puts him in the mix and gives some specific proposals for him to talk about.
1.5 trillion, that's the Federal Reserve dollar amount on how much outstanding student loan debt there is, with roughly about a 10% default, I believe. I might have that number wrong, but let's get to the baseline here. As I cough. You've got Bond Ignite. How does this help somebody? And if I were to do this with a bank, do I lose the ability to defer my monthly payment when I'm doing a student loan, essentially if I refinance?
So we're going to announce something soon called CommonBond Ignite. And what CommonBond Ignite allows for is tech integration with large financial institutions who want to solve their millennial customer gap with a student loan product gap that they currently have.
Okay, but let me get right to the point. Is it refinancing, and do you lose the ability to defer? Because that's a big issue for a lot of people with student loan debt.
So the real quick answer is no ability to defer is lost. Nothing like that. We've already piloted this with a number of companies. We've announced partnerships with companies in the last year or so as a precursor to launching CommonBond Ignite more nationally. It's effectively going to be everything from refinance student loan to a whole suite of student loan focused solutions to help end users, customers reduce their debt faster and save money along the way.
David, you got free ride, you got fair ride. What's the best ride? What's the right ride?
So I come from the generation that has a lot of student debt. I started the company because in order to go back to school, grad school in my case, I needed to pay my way 100% with student loans. And coming from that generation, I still have student loans, by the way. I'm still paying them off.
Wow.
But I refinanced with CommonBond, so I saved a lot of money. That being said, I don't think my generation is looking for a free ride. I think we're actually looking for a fair ride. And there are a number of folks in this country who have sold a bill of goods, who went to a college and university, who didn't prepare them to be placed in an appropriate job relative to the cost of their education,
right.
6-12 months after educating, and they're left with debt that their careers won't allow them to pay back.
Would a free ride put you out of business, though?
A free ride would create a lot more problems than I think it's trying to solve writ large across the economy and even within social fabric. I do think there are a lot of people in this country who suffer from student debt in a way that they shouldn't, and we should help those people. And I do believe it does take public policy in order to do that. And I think there are a lot of proposals out there that have a lot of strong provisions in them that will go a long way in solving the problem for a lot of people who need most help.
You said you've been doing this pilot with the banks that you're now going to expand upon. It's for refinancing, not for the initiating of these student loans, because the government still controls, the federal government still has the enormous bulk of initiating student loans. From what you're hearing from the bank, is there, because we've had some guests come on and say, turn that over to the private sector, let them deal with this business, they would do a better job. Do banks want to do that? Is there demand on the banking side to initiate student loans?
So this takes us to some of the recent headlines we've seen: Goldman Sachs, Apple Card, Google, Citi. There's a reason that big finance and big tech are coming together. Big tech is seeking attention, consumer attention, and big banks are seeking relevance. And if you think about why big banks are working with us, and it's not just banks, it's insurance companies, it's larger financial institutions, more generally speaking, it's because they're looking to win their customers' attention. And when you have the student loan affect so many people in this country, 45 million, when it's at 1.6 trillion in outstanding, and so many people need this debt solved, this is the first financial product that so many people in this country have ever really had to deal with. A lot of people are calling it the new mortgage. And so it's a way to get in front of, win the attention of a relatively young consumer at the beginning of their customer life cycle to provide a broader financial relationship over time.
All right, David, thank you for coming in. We hope to have you back as all of these various plans, fair, free, whatever they may be, develop. David Klein is CEO and co-founder of CommonBond. Appreciate it.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.